Speedway. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Live from our studios in upstate South Carolina, this is Track Chat Live.
I'm dropping the hammer.
No, you're not.
Your destination for local short track coverage from the Carolinas to Northeast Georgia.
He didn't slam you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you, he rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.
Race results, breaking news, and interviews from track promoters and drivers. A show designed for racing fans by a fan.
This wreck, 33 came off the bottom and wiped us out.
Asphalt and dirt combined. Track Chat Live starts now. Here's your host, Just Jeff, alongside track champion and upstate racing legend, the Rocket, David Roberts.
Rocket Man, burning out his fuse out there alone.
Welcome to Track Chat Live. I'm Just Jeff, along with
the
my
Rocket.
partner in crime, the Rocket, David Roberts. David, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Season 1, Episode 2. Here we are with Track Chat Live, ready to roll.
Yes, sir. We are back here. Week number 2 with Track Chat Live, and we're excited, man.
Calls already coming in? All right.
We already got text messages coming in. Yes, we do. But, man, we are so glad to be here tonight for our second episode. Seems like I'm down in a barrel. Someone that just texted in, but hopefully we're climb out of that barrel and get back on the mic and so people can hear us.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a fun show tonight. We got a special guest, man. It's going to be really cool. Got Eddie Ray from Travelers Rest Speedway going to join us here in a little while. Excited to talk to him, see what he's got to say about his upcoming season.
All right. Well, looks like I might be having some difficulty, so we'll try to. Something is. Hey, there we go. Hey, I think my mic was not plugged in, so let's try that again. Welcome to Track Chat Live. Just Jeff, along with the Rocket, David Roberts. David, man, good to see you. We're going to jump right in. First off, how was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. We had a little racing kickoff weekend at the shop. Had about 36, 37 people and put on a big spread of food and just had a good time getting ready for this season, talking about all the things we plan on doing and for this upcoming season.
Well, that is awesome. Before we jump into our dirt coverage, let's go ahead and mention something coming up at the Well on January the 28th. There's going to be a NASCAR night over at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville. It's going to be Saturday, January the 28th, and they're going to have a lot of race cars out there. They reached out to us, and I think they reached out to you, Eddie Ray in the house. We'll talk to him a little bit later, but we're going to have a bunch of race cars out there, so if you guys like hockey and you love race cars, you need to check it out. January 28th out at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. It's going to be the Swamp Rabbits ice hockey game. It's going to be around, I think, 7 maybe when they start.
7:30 they start normally.
So I'll get confirmation about that, and then we will let you guys know more info in the coming days and weeks, which we have like 2 weeks left. Right now, we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're going to do our dirt track coverage first. So, Rocket, take it away, brother.
All right, man. First off, we got Cherokee Speedway. Look like their season opener is going to be February the 26th. With the 604 late models, the Street Stock, the Renegade Sportsman, Thunder Bomber, Pure Stock, Extreme 4, the Crown Vic V8, and Young Gun V8. Pretty cool there. All right, we got Harris, which is coming up on February the 25th, the Winter Rumble. Looks like it ought to be a good show. Starts at 12 p.m. The green flag drops at 4. 602 late models, Street Stock, Thunder Bomber, Pure Stock, front-wheel drive features, and the Ford Outlaws. And I just found out that is all Crown Vics. So,
okay.
So I just got confirmation on that. So we tried to figure that out last week.
Yeah, we had some questions as to what that was. And
right.
So,
I just knew there wasn't no Chevrolets out of the team. So we had
exactly.
That. Got the Hartwell Speedway. All rules have been updated for the 23 season and posted on the HartwellSpeedway.com. Still waiting on their season opener information. We got Lawrence Speedway, which will open up Saturday, March the 18th. They got a new promoter in Chris Lyons. I look for him to do a a real good job down there after Danny Hurley and Danny Hurley Jr. been running it successful the last couple of years.
Yes, we need to get him on the show as soon as possible.
Yeah, we're going to get him here before we get started. Like Chris is an old racer, and I think he'll do a good job. Got Livonia Speedway to Spring Natty, February the 25th. Complete 23 schedule at livoniaspeedway.net. And Toccoa Speedway, now that's what I was telling you last week. That's a little D-shaped racetrack. That's a fun little joint to ride around there.
Yeah, we've got to get to those folks over at Toccoa until we need a schedule here so we can get on here and plug their racetrack, because I know they got a lot of exciting things coming up for 2023.
Yeah, that's a fun little deal. And I guess they run on Saturdays. I'm assuming they still run on Saturday nights, so be good.
That is awesome. Well, if you see the bottom there, we have one more track that we're going to talk about, but that's going to be in a few moments. But as we mentioned, we got a great show coming up tonight. Eddie Ray is going to be our guest. We're going to bring him into the studio here in a moment. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break and talk about some of these fine sponsors here with Just Jeff and the Rocket on Track Chat Live.
When you want great food, don't run to the border. Head over to El Taco in Anderson, home of the scratch-made recipes. They're family-owned and operated at 192 Civic Center Boulevard behind Tractor Supply. All your Fiesta favorites, including Mexican hot dogs, quesadillas, and the 99-cent Taco Tuesday deal. Stop by for a lunch combo, set up your next catering, or simply use DoorDash. Call them at 864-540-8500 or eltacoanderson.com. Anderson Motor Speedway is your home for Friday night short track racing. The competition is guaranteed to leave you on the edge of your seat. Bring the entire family out for a fun night of racing that includes free face painting and activities for ages 12 and under. Bring a friend and head on out Highway 81 or take exit 27 off I-85. Check out their website, AndersonMotorspeedway.com, for all things racing. Anderson Motor Speedway, yeah, that racetrack.
Hall's All Hands on Deck is a family-owned and operated business serving the upstate with 15 years experience. Painting and pressure washing are just a few of the things they specialize in. They'll handle all your inside or outside jobs in a timely manner. Call them now for a free estimate at 864-213-7502. No job is too big or small for Hall's All Hands on Deck.
Man, that car sounds good.
Oh, you know, it's just that Carnage exhaust I got at Troy's Muffler. Troy has kept the upstate sounding great with the latest muffler trends and their very own custom exhaust for over 35 years. If you need custom exhaust work, repair, or to diagnose a problem, they've got you covered. Home of the world-renowned Carnage Performance Exhaust. Call today at 864-964-9667 to schedule an appointment or visit troysmuffler.com.
All right, we are back here on Track Chat Live. Just Jeff and the Rocket, David Roberts. Going to talk a little dirt track racing. Got our man. Actually, I'm gonna let the Rocket introduce our next guest. Rocket, go ahead and introduce him for us.
I got Eddie Ray from Travelers Rest Speedway with us tonight. And remember what I told you about Jeff last week, what a rev chip is, guys? It's where you have to put it. I think I might have to get one for Eddie a little bit. I kind of talked to him a little bit, and I think, you hear that, I put them on a chip, slow them down just a little bit so we can see what they're doing. Nice to have you, Eddie. Your season opener is coming up pretty quick, and when is that?
Thanks for having me, first of all. Obviously, appreciate the call last week, inviting me on, giving me a platform to obviously come on and talk about Travelers Rest Speedway. So, yeah, this year will be year 6. This will be the 6th year we had the Speedway. Our opener for the season is March 10th and 11th. And we have a action-packed year, but opening night, like I said, we're going to do March 10th and 11th, and we take off one weekend for Harris to have their opening weekend on, I think, whatever it is, March 18th or, whatever that is. And then after that, we're full speed ahead, till the end of the year.
Right. So you race every Friday night?
we don't race. We race a majority of the Friday nights.
Right.
Besides car racing, obviously, we have motorcycle events and all that. So I think this year we're doing around 24, 25 car races.
So how many classes do you have, divisions?
Well, good question, because at Travelers Rest Speedway, obviously, we have a curfew. So we never run more than – we run 7 full-time divisions. Which is our front-wheel drives, our rookies, pure stocks, Thunder Bombers, Thunder Bomber Futures, a new class, Renegade Sportsman, and, of course, our Crown Vics, which are all Crown Vics, Ford Outlaws, all Crown Vics. And then usually once or twice a month, we have a touring group, whether it's USCS Sprints, Vintage, Little Late Models, there's the Carolina Sprint Tour. So once or twice a month, we'll run 8 divisions, but our 7 are the ones I just told you about a second ago.
Now, do you run any super late model type stuff?
This past year, we dabbled a little bit in the super stuff, but what we've come to learn is Travelers Rest is more they love their Renegades, they love their front wheel drives, they love the crowd comes to see their local hero. They really don't care that much about supers. And, of course, whenever you run supers, you got to run that price way up in order to make that person. It drives away a lot of crowds. So this year we're actually not doing any super late models.
Right. What do you consider to be a successful night as far as a car count? How many cars?
Well, remember, the more cars, that's the more people you got to pay.
Yeah.
So we average on a Friday night, we average about 75 cars. That's about what we average. I mean, we've had up to 135, but during the summer, sometimes when it falls off, we've had as low. I don't think I've ever been below 50, but 75 is a pretty good average. But like I said, that's not what really determines a good night.
Right. What
determines a good night is the family gets together, comes out, brings their buddies, brings the uncle, and they come out and they watch good old, Carolina dirt track racing and the mudslinging. So, the idea to get them out there is putting on a show. I always tell people I don't sell racing, I sell entertainment. So you never know. You might see the the tow truck out there and midgets jumping out, tripping each other, trying to get these cars off the. I try to put butts in the seat, and being a guy who I'm new to promoting. I only got into car racing 5 years ago. I got into the promoting side 6 years ago. This will be our 6th year. But, I was always a racer. And then after being a racer, I thought, what can we do that makes it more fun than just sitting here and watching race after race? So come up with a lot of cool ideas, and I've had a lot of people help me out along the way, throwing ideas, and, that's just kind of what we do, kind of think outside the box.
I want to ask a question. I'm going to take it way back. We're going to get off the dirt, and at one point you raced at Greenville, correct?
I did.
In the Renegade division.
My first race ever, my first time ever behind the wheel racing a race car was at Anderson Motor Speedway, and we had a bit of a little. Listen, when people in their cars get mad, their favorite saying, "I ain't never coming back."
Yeah, I wish I had $1 for every time I heard
Listen, I made shirts that said "I ain't never coming back," and they sold like hotcakes. So usually people don't use it on me much anymore. But hey, if you ain't happy, the gate. No one's at the gate holding a gun to your head to try to get you in. But my first race ever was at Anderson Motor Speedway, and I missed my race because I didn't know I had to have the ear things in.
Oh, the receivers.
And of course, Miss Sylvia came out, made it all good. She's like, "I thought you were going to be really mad." I'm like, "No, I just wanted to race, Didn't have no race receiver, so that's the first place I raced. But I raced consistent when I did race was Greenville Pickens.
Now I'm just going to clear a rumor up. So you had a certain nickname that was given to you over at Greenville, and I think the guy who gave it to you, he doesn't announce there now. Jim DeSarlius, I think that's how you say his name. I probably butchered it, but he was calling you Rockstar Eddie Ray. So what's the deal behind all that?
Well, when I got into racing, this all stemmed from being with Randy Hawkins, who I worked for Randy. He had a race car team with Lee McCall, and I had to walk through the shop every day. So whatever, I wanted to get in the cars. Well, at that time, my wife is a 7-time women's motocross champion. One of the best women's motocross ever. Well, she was sponsored by Rockstar. So all my cars were, and I was tied in with them. All my cars, if you remember, were all black with the yellow Rockstar star on them. So everybody just started calling me Rockstar. But I just remember Rabbit and What Up Drew, like, yo, Rockstar, and I'm like, and it stuck. And now, if you see now, we're actually sponsored by Monster, and they still call me Rockstar. I talked to Drew the other day. He's like, yo, Rockstar, what up?
Yeah, I kind of thought that was catchy, and I like that Rockstar Eddie Ray.
It had nothing to do with being like a super cool rock star. It's because I had Rockstar energy drink logos on my car. Like, they chipped in some money and, whatever. So all my cars were Rockstar Energy.
Yeah, Jim had a way of giving folks nicknames at the Speedway. So I remember that distinctly. It was Rockstar Eddie Ray. So that's before I even knew who you were. I'm like, wow, there's a rock star here. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool nickname.
If you're looking for the rock star, trust me, it wasn't me. It was just because I had Rockstar logos on my car.
I got you.
So, hey, let's talk a minute about what do you like best, dirt or asphalt? As far as a driver.
As a driver, well, I'll be honest with you. I drive asphalt because I'm the kind of guy. My car's always got to be pretty. I like my car straight and neat. And them dirt boys, let me tell you something. They don't like. They bang them up, bash them up, and crash them up. So I am not a dirt car guy at all. I think, honestly, it probably takes a lot more skill to be a dirt driver just because the track changes every lap. You might get a hole. You might get a slick spot. You might get tacky one week. There's a lot of adjusting. But, when you race asphalt, just saying what I've come to notice is the turns are all the same.
Right.
There's never a bump. There's never a slick spot. If there's water on the track, they'll it's very consistent. Where dirt, is very inconsistent, and it feels like on asphalt we all run one line, right? Kind of up against the wall, right down to the bottom, up against the wall. Dirt guys, they're in the guardrail, they're at the bottom of the track, they're teeing each other up, squaring each other off, so as a driver, I'm only going to be an asphalt guy because I don't got what it takes to cut it in a dirt car. Right. So I've tried it, I'm terrible, so I'm going to have to say that I enjoy watching dirt car racing more than I would like watching asphalt racing.
Right. Definitely dirt is the hot ticket right now. I think there's been trends where asphalt was hot and then dirt was kind of, down here. But like now, dirt track, you go to any dirt track here in the upstate on a Friday or Saturday night, the stands are packed, the infield is packed. It's just the hot ticket right now.
And knowing some of the, I met people obviously at the dirt track. And it's funny, back when I was racing them, now they're all racing at Travelers Rest Speedway. A lot of Greenville guys, a lot of asphalt guys are slowly making that transition. It's almost like, I don't want to say, asphalt's dead, but it's definitely not as jumping as dirt. You know what I mean? So, but they're slowly all transitioning, and most of the guys that have transitioned from the asphalt to the dirt all seem to be doing really well.
I think it's at the point where even the cup cars are entertaining the idea of racing on dirt, which we saw that last year they did the Bristol thing. So dirt right now is definitely the hot ticket, I feel like, in racing. Asphalt is there too, but dirt is where it's at.
Yeah, that's where I came from, the dirt tracks, and back then the goal was to make it to asphalt,
right?
To Greenville Pickens, to get your name on the wall, to race out there and win races. That was the ultimate thing in a short track racing around here.
And I believe like maybe back in the day, that's probably about how it was. Because if you look at old NASCAR, you see a lot of guys who came from the dirt. You see guys now that come from these midgets, guys who come from dirt car racing, dirt late models, and end up in NASCAR. But it's funny, when I actually used to, me and Anthony used to throw a lot of ideas at each other with Greenville Pickens, and I always said, we need to get all these dirt guys. I can round them up, Anthony, I'm telling you, and have a big dirt car race on the asphalt, but in dirt cars. Like, you got to run the same. Because, hey, what's it matter? You're going to slide around the corners anyways. Like, let's burn these tires up. So, like I said, I think it's, you always got to be creative, come up with cool ideas. So, that's,
back in the late 70s, mid 80s, somewhere in there, they used to do that. They used to have races at Greenville Pickens. It was dirt cars. My brother raced dirt, and we'd come up there and race the dirt car. All you do is change the tires. No windshield, no nothing, still the big spoilers. And them things was bad fast.
I would hear stories of like one person that I don't know why this guy sticks in my mind the most, but Vince Quinn used to tell me how he'd win Friday night on asphalt and then go win Saturday night on dirt in the same car. And I said, how is that even possible? Like, they're not even close to being the same. They said they did it.
Now, do you know if he's still racing? I think maybe some go-kart stuff. I haven't.
I haven't seen Vince in a long time. I just remember at one point at Greenville Pickens, he's Vince just, tell me his stories, all the race car stories.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stories, we've got plenty more stories coming up with Eddie Ray. We're going to take another quick break, but we're going to open up the phone lines when we get back. So if you guys want to maybe ask a question for Eddie, don't get too complicated on him. I mean, don't put him on spot or on blast. But we're going to come back and talk with Eddie some more and maybe take some of your phone calls. We'll give out the number on the other side of this break with Just Jeff and the Rocket here on Track Chat Live.
Do you want the best garage doors? Do you want the best installation? Call 864-451-8883. Covering the upstate with a 5-star reputation that was earned through great customer service. They're ready for you around the clock for routine maintenance or emergencies. Mention you heard this ad and receive 25% off new purchase. Don't fool with the rest. Call Best Overhead Doors or visit bestoverheaddoorsSC.com.
Are you tired of your garage floor looking dull, cracked, or stained? Exquisite Garage Floor Coating can transform your concrete surface in as little as one day. We offer custom flake systems in multiple color combinations, metallics, and stains. Protect your concrete surface and add value to your home by turning that plain garage into a showpiece. Contact us for your no-obligation free quote. Find us on Facebook or go to eqfloors.com today. Don't settle for anything less than exquisite.
Hey, sounds like you got a bad alternator or starter. You need to stop by Gene's and let them check it out. Gene specializes in automotive and heavy equipment. They service foreign or domestic starters and alternators. Don't get stranded on the road. Give Gene or Kenneth a call today at 864-246-3036 or stop by the shop, 514 South Welcome Road in Greenville.
When you hear that sound, it's time to call Jock White Collision Repair. With locations at Easley and Pickens, they will make your visit to the repair shop simple and stress-free. Jock White Collision stands behind their work and guarantees you'll leave 100% satisfied. Stop by today for a free estimate or visit their website at jockwhitecollision.com. Don't be despaired. Jock White will get you repaired.
All right, back here on Track Chat Live. Just Jeff and the Rocket, David Roberts, along with TR promoter Eddie Ray in the house. Been talking with him about a few things, and we're going to continue our conversation with Eddie, and we're going to take some phone calls. So if you got a question for Eddie, don't be afraid to call in. Number's 864-224-6733. It's 224-6733. And just remember, the words you use at church are good enough to use here, so we don't need any potty mouth going on here on the air. But if you got a call, if you got a question, call us 864-224-6733.
Well, Eddie, let's talk a little bit about the preparation for your dirt track. How long does it take, and what all do you do there?
Well, when I first got the track, I actually inherited Scott Childress' brother.
Terry.
And a guy named Gerald. And they did it for me. And then as I've been around dirt my whole life. Motocross is all about, obviously the amount of water, how deep you get it, how rough it gets, so on and so forth. So about 2 or 3 years in, I really, after watching, kind of said, you know what, I think I want to start trying this myself. Like, sometimes people who do it that don't have, like, they do the track And when they think it's okay, it's okay. Me, I like it the same every time.
Mm-hmm.
I like it to be as consistent as possible. So to your question, I do it now, me and one of my workers, start to finish, it's about a 5-hour process, 5 to 6 hour process, hoping nothing breaks. Like, you don't blow a hydraulic line on a dozer or on your motor grader, or, something don't happen. But, lots of water, plow, get it about, 4 or 6 inches deep. And then I bought a machine called a pottinger, which when you plow it up and it's chunky, just imagine if you take a bunch of ice cubes and you tried to make a snowball. They don't stick together. Well, when you take like fluffed up dirt, the idea is getting it all to bond back together. I got a machine that goes around and chops it up and makes it real fine, so you can make it compacts real good. Oh. So we do that, plow water, pottinger to get that dirt nice and where it's real fluffy. Sheep foot for 45 minutes, an hour. I mean, over and over and over. Motor grade. While the guy motor grades one way, you sheep foot behind him. Then he'll turn around and go the other way, sheep foot behind him, and then roll the track in with the water truck. And I got like the big super singles on my water truck. I got a 4,000 gallon Mack. I put the big wide super singles on there to roll it in. So that's start to finish of doing it. But when you're talking about a race weekend, we go through about 50 to 60,000 gallons of water a race. And, when we're done we start the process on Thursday night, finish it on Friday morning, but then all day, every hour, almost on the hour, load of water until race time, and then knowing when to stop the watering and then starting the roll-in process.
Right.
Roll it in. So, I mean, really, the process, it's a process you'll never figure out perfectly because dirt is so inconsistent. But start to finish of the real process to where we're done with the track but not doing the water, you're probably looking at about, like I said, man, it could go anywhere depending on how you start, 4 to 6 hours.
Now that's just a track. You still got to do all the other stuff, like get your concessions, your tire sales, fuel, all that stuff in line too.
Well, I mean, like any speedway, and you've been around Miss Sylvia a long time, and Anthony, that comes down to your crew. I got an amazing wife who takes care of concessions, insurance. I'm just a grommet. I'm just a big grom. All I do is move dirt.
So you actually are doing all this yourself, correct?
I'm doing all this. Me and my worker. I have a full-time guy that works for me. Me and him. I had a guy who worked for me named Timmy who did a great job. He caught on real quick. We do the track, but between the people who help you pick up trash at the end, people who help you clean the bathrooms, to getting the concessions ready, getting all the paperwork ready to sign, the wristbands. Like I said, my dad runs the tire container. He handles all the tires, fuel, any kind of sales of that. That's not even a worry to me on race day. All I worry about is making sure everybody's safe and the track's good and we're going racing and we're done by 11:30.
Yeah, I've met your dad before. I see now where you get all your swag at. Your dad is one cool cat.
He's definitely everything I've learned. I've learned from him. He's definitely he's hard. To this day, I feel like sometimes he's always mad at me. He's always mad at me no matter what it is. But he's been a huge part. He was a huge part in me, of us getting the Speedway. So it's really the team. It's not all me. I got amazing people around me. Like I said, from my wife, my mom, she can track $1. Like I said, she runs the front gate for a while, and then she goes up and she does all the pay. And I'm sure probably Miss Sylvia has someone just like her. Like that lady, she will track $1 down. If it ain't there, she'll find it.
Now, where does all the water come from that you get to use? I mean, do you have a pond nearby?
Right on the backside, right through the speedway. Like actually, it's actually the property line of our property. There's the Tiger River, so we just get all the water right out of the
Out of
Tiger
the river. All right, that's pretty cool.
Am I supposed to say that? No.
No, that's cool.
I didn't hear anything.
I'm just pointing over at David. I'm like, go.
Yeah, so it sounds like more than 5 or 6 hours to do the track. It sounds like a lot of work going on over there.
Oh man.
Now you sell your own tires and fuel to the racers?
I do. Well, I don't. My dad handles all that just because when it comes to that, I'm like, yeah, just go get whatever you want. We'll get it later. And then it never gets taken care of. So my dad's on that. Like I said, anything when it really comes to money, there's probably somebody more important over it than I am. So my dad runs the tire stuff, and he hangs out. Everybody knows my dad. My mom runs the front gate. My wife, she's running money back and forth. I'm like the lowest person on the totem pole, actually. I'm the dirty guy. I'm the guy that always comes in dirty.
Now, with racing, man, there's always a challenge. You're competing and trying to win the attention, I think, of the younger generation. It seems like just about every kid, between the ages of 3 and 12 have an electronic device in their hand. As a promoter, what do you try to do each year to say, all right, I'm going to try this in order to, maybe get some young guys interested in racing, or just to get them out to the racetrack?
We only have an hour, and we don't even have that left. We can sit here for many hours, and I could tell you, being new to racing and as a promoter, this sport is broken. It's very broken. I come from motocross, where you start as a kid. If I take my son, who's 3, he's got a starting point. There's a class for 3 to 4, 5, 6-year-olds on these bikes. And as they get older and as they get better, they keep moving up. Never, ever is there a spot when my son's 11 can go, I want to go back to the 4-year-old class. What we see in car racing is, how do we get these young kids involved? You say, well, when they come out, they look and go, where do we start? There's no real class for these kids to start. You got rookies and you got young guns, but let's say that's only from 11 or 9 to 17. Let's say you want to get somebody who's 20, never raced a car before, and goes, I want to start racing. Okay, where do we start? Put them in Thunder Bombers with professional drivers that should be in Renegades. You know what I mean? So it's like, I really don't know how we get these kids really involved. I think it's generational, where it's like the people who are going to race is the kids that their dads are racing now. I think it's real hard to attract the people that know nothing about cars. Like, you're not going to go into a school and go, hey, here's all the cars. And some dad's going to go, well, let's go buy our kid a race car. I think that's tough.
Right.
I think it's passed down. It's in the genes, when it comes to racing. So I think those few that we're going to get, I don't know how we attract them, what makes it so appealing. But, all we can do is hope that we can keep people like the big names now, their kids and their kids coming for the future.
Right. So what about Bandolero cars? You ever thought about having those?
I don't even know what I think a Bandolero is those open wheel things they run at Anderson, right?
No, Bandoleros is like legend cars, and you got the Bandoleros, a little full body on them, little.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like a beginner division for legends, yeah. And then
I think somebody called me about those once, but I think our track's too big. I think they only run on like 5th miles, don't they?
No, they run like they run at Florence, and they've been to Anderson, places like that. So,
but now they asphalt or they dirt?
Well, they mostly on asphalt. I know the legend cars is on dirt. And
gotcha.
So the Bandoleros would be a good thing. You can get 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds coming and doing that kind of a stepping stone.
Excuse me. But yeah, well, there's actually a division that's really good. We raced them this year for the first time. Kenneth Dobbs has a series called Little Late Models. These things, I think that's like what the Bandoleros are. They're these little late models with 600 motors in them. And son, they put on a show. They fly. I mean, they're faster than our 602s.
Now, is there like an age requirement?
Now I don't get it. How a grown man can crawl into one. Like my kid, he already wants one. And mom already figured out, like, as soon as you can, we just bought my kid a Polaris Ace, and he rips all around. He's 3. So as soon as he's able to get them feet to the pedals, that's where I see my guy going as,
Right.
little late models. And they put on a great show. They're, listen, action packed. I mean, they're round out. I mean, they're, like you said, on the chip all the time. I mean, wound tight.
Well, that's kind of where the beginners are, I guess, with asphalt. To kind of get the kids involved there. Maybe something I've never seen them on dirt.
Yeah, I think that they're like top speeds like 70 miles an hour or something. They weigh like 500 pounds.
Gotcha.
They're like 30
I don't know
horsepower.
much about them. I'm one of those people. If it brings a crowd,
right,
I'm all about it.
Yeah, I helped on one of them little.
If it makes dollars, it makes sense.
One of them little mini late models. Philip Johnson, do you know him?
What's that?
Philip Johnson.
I don't know.
You know Philip? He's got one. I seen it the other week. Them things are crazy.
Right.
Mini late models.
Oh, listen, they've been to the Speedway twice and both times put on an amazing show. Yeah. And like I said, Kenneth Dobbs is doing a great job with that series. And like this year, we can't wait to have them back.
Right.
Well, Eddie, we've got just a few more seconds before we have to go to our next break. But what do you have in store for the racing fan in 2023 at Travelers Rest Speedway?
Let's see. It's not what I have in store. It's what the drivers have in store. I give them a place to showcase their cars. They got to get out there and do all the work. So, one thing I can tell you is you can come. You're always going to have, get good food, have a nice place to watch, have a nice, we got a family section where, all families can hang out. And, we're going to bring in lots of divisions and lots of special touring divisions. And I think we're going to have an action-packed year.
Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. And you're welcome back anytime. David, you got anything else?
What's the best food at Travelers Rest Speedway?
Let's see.
The one top one. What is it?
So every time I run into the and I really don't get these anywhere else. Every time I run to the concession, I grab me the chicken fingers and fries.
Chicken fingers
and this year we're going to homemade fries. Like we're going to the fresh cut fries. So instead of the bag, we're gonna go to fresh cut. Like we're gonna cut them ourselves. We're gonna do fresh cut fries. We're about to remodel all our concessions and all that. So I think everybody's gonna be in for a store.
Well, I'm a huge foodie, so I may have to come and sample those.
That's right.
Hey,
cool.
Come on. There's room for everybody at Travelers Rest Speedway.
All right, guys, we'll be back right after this with Just Jeff and the Rocket here on Track Chat Live.
Fatso's is a small barbecue sauce company that delivers big flavor. Founded in the mountains of North Carolina, the amazing taste has helped Fatso's expand to South Carolina at multiple Ingalls locations throughout the upstate. Their all-purpose rub and mopping sauce leaves your mouth saying, wow. Try Fatso's barbecue sauce today. For more info, find them on Facebook or email fatsosaucecompany@gmail.com. Brookshire Collision has been serving the upstate for 39 years with the best hands-on service that will leave your car looking brand new. Their certified technicians cover foreign and domestic vehicles. All insurance companies are accepted along with free estimates by appointment. Call today at 864-288-9875 or stop by 115 Murray Drive in Malden and talk to Beamer. Tell them you heard about it on Track Chat Live.
No one likes to drive a car that doesn't shine. Take your ride to Distinctive Details and let them give it that new car look. Nick and the gang are sure to make your car smile with their excellent detail experience. From cars to trucks and anything in between, they are guaranteed to give your vehicle a showroom shine. Call 864-234-0341 or stop by 212 North Main in Malden to give your ride that new car look.
Timco of the Upstate is a precision machine shop founded in 1968. For 54 years, they have been serving the Anderson area with their machining and fabrication needs. Located at 921 Pyramidary Road, they have kept up the pace with changing technology, tooling, and quality of service. The employees at Timco have 20-plus years of machining excellence. For a quote about fabrication or machining, call 864-226-8509 or visit their website, timcoupstate.com.
All right, back here on Track Chat Live, Just Jeff along with the Rocket.
Yo,
David Roberts. Going to talk a little bit of asphalt. Once again, we like to say a big thank you to Eddie Ray for joining us to talk a little dirt action and all the things going on up at Travelers Rest Speedway. But we're going to switch gears now. We're going to jump on to our asphalt report.
Yeah, we've been slinging a little mud. Now we're gonna get down and clean.
I
right?
like what Eddie said earlier. When I talked to him on the phone, he said we're going to get the dirt on dirt.
Dirt on dirt. That's right.
I really like that little saying. But jumping into our asphalt tracks for this week, of course, we've got Anderson Motor Speedway going to be having their season opener on Friday, March the 17th. David, that's going to be St. Patty's Day, so you got to make sure you wear your green, or Miss Marie might have to pinch you, huh?
Yeah. She does that enough.
Oh, okay. They're going to be running limiteds, mini stock, the Big Show Pure Stocks, U.S. Legends, front wheel drive, BM Modified, and then the Young Guns division. It's going to be our beginners ages 12 and 18. And also the complete schedule is now posted over at AndersonMotorspeedway.com, so you can check that out and go ahead and mark your calendar to attend all those events. Next is going to be Bowman Gray Speedway. I think last week when we talked about Bowman Gray, they had yet to announce their season opener, but I did a little research this week and found out that they will be having their season opener on April the 22nd. So for all you Bowman Gray fans, if you like the whole atmosphere of being in a stadium whenever you're watching racing, then great to come out and support Bowman Gray. They have their complete schedule up now at bowmangrayracing.com, so you can check that out there.
Right. Now, you talk about putting on a show. Now, they put on a show at Bowman Gray. Now, that's right up there.
I've yet to make the trip up to Bowman Gray, but I think I'm going to put that on my list this year. If I can get somebody to ride up with me, we'll go check out some racing.
Well, let's do it. Miss Marie, she loves to go there. It's
not
really
smiling,
it's not really a bad ride, and like I say, it is. If you've never been, you need to go one time and watch it.
Well, we're definitely going to have to put that on the list of places to go. Caraway Speedway is next. They're going to be having a practice on Saturday, January the 28th from 10 till 5 p.m. And then their Winter Heat 2023 season opener is going to be on January the 29th. They're going to have 75 laps late models, 50 laps of street stocks, 40 lap Challenger, 40 laps of the classic mini stocks. I like to see those. 20 laps of the U-Cars and 10 laps of the bootleggers. I'm not sure what the bootleggers are, but sounds like an interesting division. They're going to have their pits open at 9 o'clock, and the grandstands will be opening at noon with the green flag at 2 p.m. So you can also find out more info at carawayspeedway.com. Then, of course, our guest last week, Mr. Ron Barfield, kind of gave us a little update on things going on at Dillon Motor Speedway. He didn't really give a specific date to when he's going to start racing down there, but he did say that they're going to be sometime in March. So we'll watch for that date and announce that here on the show and on our social media channels. Also, they want to do a August Mass Series race up at Anderson, kind of like what they did last season. So I know everybody in the upstate that likes to race with the Mass Series is going to be looking forward to that. And then we're going to jump down to Florence Motor Speedway. We're going to get Mr. Steven Zachariah on the show at some point before they kick this off on February the 10th and 11th. It's going to be a Friday-Saturday deal. Icebreaker. David, you've been down several times, I know, to run that race.
Yep, yeah, we going this year. We carrying a car down for that. And from what I understand, juniors are going to be there, and supposedly Harvick's coming back and Jeb Burton, so they'll have a good field of cars again. Strong cars.
I tell you, if it was anything like it was this past weekend, some of that cold weather,
oh yeah,
it's definitely going to be an icebreaker down there. And next on our list, of course, is Greenville Pickens Speedway. That's the white elephant here in the room. There's been a lot of chatter about the fate or what's going to happen at Greenville Pickens Speedway this season. I think we got a little bit of an update. We kind of shared that last week. We're still digging deeper. I don't think we can really say a name. David, do you have more?
Well, yeah, I talked to him a little bit, and he said he didn't it wasn't no secret that he was trying. His name's Jackie Manley.
Okay, Jackie. Oh, Smiley.
And
Jackie Manley. Okay.
He is trying his best to do something, promote it. Said he's got, a bunch of things in works and sponsors to do this and that, and sponsors to guarantee the purse for the whole year. So he's trying.
That's awesome.
I hadn't talked to him this week. I don't know exactly where he's at, but I know they'd run into a little difficulty with some things. And he's working hard. So
wow, that is awesome. So guys, you heard it first here on Track Chat Live. Mr. Jackie Manley is trying to make things happen over at Greenville Pickens Speedway for the 2023 season. So Jackie, you got our support. We'll do whatever we can to help you. And guys, if this does come to pass, then please go out there and support Jackie. Support Greenville Pickens Speedway, because that is a historical track. I mean, if you just look around at the names that are on the wall, I mean, David, your name's out there. So, I mean, it's just a lot of history, and I would hate, to see that place, become a ghost speedway or a lost speedway, as Dale Jr. would say. But we don't want that to happen. So, guys, go out there, and if Jackie, makes this deal happen, go support Jackie. Support Greenville Pickens Speedway and make that track one of the premier tracks here in the South.
Yeah, give Jackie a call. And if there's any way you can help or want to help, give him a call. He sure would be glad to take it.
Yes, he would. All right, guys. Hickory Motor Speedway going to be having their season opener on Saturday, March the 4th. Wow, that's going to be awesome. Green flag is going to be at 7. They're running the twin late model stock, and then they'll have the Paramount Limiteds. They'll have street stocks, Renegades, and the Carolina mini stocks. There's a lot of history also up at Hickory Motor Speedway. Of course, Kevin Piercy is the promoter there, but you can find out more info about Hickory Motor Speedway at hickorymotorspeedway.com. David, I know you've been there and raced quite a few times.
Yep, that's a fun place. It holds a lot of history, just like Greenville Pickens. A lot of great drivers has won there and been champions there. So
they call it the birthplace of NASCAR stars. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a tough little place to get around.
Now the racing surface there is real similar to the racing surface at Anderson, correct?
Yeah, it's rougher than Anderson. And I don't want to say it's kind of like one of Eddie Ray's motorcycle tracks, but it's not quite that rough. But it's got its own character, like each racetrack's got its character, and Hickory's got it.
Okay. Well, guys, go up there and check them out. Hickory Motor Speedway up there in North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina. Then we're going to jump over to Kingsport Speedway. Their season opener is going to be March the 25th. And then, of course, our friends up there at Tri-County Speedway, Shad and Shane, help promote that place, along with Crate. And Miss Karen Tennell is going to be there this year. She's also going to be helping promote Tri-County Speedway. If you haven't made the trip up to Hudson, North Carolina, I tell you what, you need to take a Saturday, pack up the car, and head up there for a lot of great racing action. They got a good thing going.
Yeah, they've done a great job with the racetrack. They repaved the turns. They've worked on all the facilities around and everything. It's really turned. It's a nice racetrack.
I also like to mention my buddy Phil Combs. He's the announcer up at Tri-County. If you guys love racing as much as he does and you want to see something awesome, you need to go and locate Phil and go visit the Combs Family Museum. It's just a plethora of racing memorabilia from NASCAR down to local racing. I mean, it will blow your mind. I have not made the trip, but I see a lot of he's posted on Facebook. So I'm definitely going to make the trip up there eventually to see what he has going on at the Combs Family Museum. But we're going to take another quick break, our last break of the show, and then we're going to come back with that segment that I like to really call one of my favorites. It's called The Rocket Says, but we'll be back here with Just Jeff and The Rocket on Track Chat Live. Octane and Iron Speed Shop is your official cruise-in hot rod hangout in downtown Pickens, South Carolina, specializing in buying and selling custom cars and trucks. Come show your ride at one of their weekend cruise-ins. If you get hungry, Miss Susan will have plenty of snacks, including hot dogs, fresh lemonade, and mini donuts. Check them out on Facebook at Octane and Iron Speed Shop. When you don't have seconds to spare,
call On Time Heating and Air. When you want fast and reliable service, On Time Heating and Air has over 55 years experience. They'll be there on time for your heating and cooling needs. They offer same-day and after-hour service for your convenience. Their professional, courteous technicians will be there on time to discuss your situation, make recommendations, and show you the first price so there'll be no surprises. Visit them at ontimesc.com.
All right, back here on Track Chat Live, Just Jeff and the Rocket. David Roberts, still got Eddie Ray hanging out with us, so may get his thoughts on this next little thing here. We just have breaking news that just came into the studio here. A couple of folks kind of sent us a heads up. Before we go into our next segment, we're going to talk about this. Troy Karn sent me a message, and David, you had something coming through over there?
Yeah, I just got the Hartwell Speedway has decided to not race in 2023. That Marty Lance has like to thank everybody for 16 great seasons, but said it's time for him to sit back and retire and take it easy a little bit and take some time off.
All right, Eddie, what are your thoughts?
You know, it's a trend that's too common. I mean, last year, what did we lose? Two other speedways. Right. You know, just goes to tell everybody. You know, instead of getting on Facebook and beating everybody up, maybe you should go be more supportive of some of these speedways because one day they might not be here.
Exactly right. All right. Well, that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into my favorite segment here on Track Chat Live.
You've got questions? He's got an answer. It's time for The Rocket Says here on Track Chat Live.
Yeah, that's right, guys. It's time for The Rocket Says here on Track Chat Live. Of course, you know what this means. David gets a question from some listeners and for some inboxes that we get. People send emails out, and they want to know David's opinion about certain topics concerning racing. So, David, are you ready? We got a question here for you, and going to let it rip. You ready?
Well, I like to say, everybody's got one. This is my opinion, so hold on to yours. Let's see what we got.
All right, guys. Question for David this week is, technology, being just out there. What do you think about racetracks now that broadcast their live events over the internet via social media or like an internet stream? Do you think that hurts racetracks or does that help racetracks?
Wow, I'd say it. I would say it to me in my mind, my old mind, it hurts it because you're not there to smell the rubber, the fuel burning, the oil, and just to live the atmosphere. But it's a new way of the world, right? So, like at my shop the other night, we watched Flow Racing, watched the dirt track up there. We watched it. It was easy to watch it, and that's what most people's going to do. They're going to be watching it. Now, how's the racetrack going to function from that? More people staying at home watching it. I know these flow places, networks probably pay the racetrack something, but it's not the same. So I think it hurts it.
Okay, fair enough. I would agree with that statement there. Another question, it was kind of out there in the open. Everybody saw that this week, and Miss Marie's probably wondering the same thing. We're going to ask this, but someone actually posted on our Track Chat Live Facebook after we posted, if you had questions for the Rocket, and somebody commented in and said, when are you going to cut your hair? Tell us the backstory with the whole hair thing.
Well, I just decided when I retired, I wasn't going to get a haircut for a while, and it's been 2 years, so I'm just going to see how long it could go. It ain't going much longer because Miss Marie ain't going to let it go much longer. But I just I've not had long hair since I was a teenager, so I thought I'd give it another shot.
Well, at first I thought maybe it was some type of thing that happened during the pandemic because in 2020 we couldn't go to barbershops, to get haircuts, so we kind of just had to let it grow. And
well, I got no problem getting a haircut because my sister cuts my hair for free, so that wasn't a problem. So it ain't that, So I don't know. I'm just gonna let it grow. Let's see what happens. And
now,
see where it goes.
Is this the look that you have whenever you met Miss Marie?
Oh yeah, that's what she loved to run her hair and through my hair back then. 43 years later, she still likes it. So,
well, that was a burning question. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have probably been wondering the same thing about that, but I'm glad you cleared that up for us, David. Now you know. Miss Marie is,
and that's the rest of the story.
And that's the rest of the story, man. We've got a couple extra minutes here before we have to sign off, but man, I tell you, this has been a great show today. Eddie, once again, man, we thank you for coming in. He's kind of still hanging out with us behind the scenes here, and man, that was just heartbreaking news about Hartwell Speedway. I can't believe that. You know, I was trying to gear up and talk about Hartwell Speedway, and now this. I mean,
yeah, Hartwell's been a speedway as long as I can remember as a kid around here, Livonia and Toccoa. One of the good dirt tracks back in the day. It's just sad to see like that, you know, to go away. I got another little note that a buddy of mine sent me from Warrior Creek Speedway in Gray Court.
Okay.
Braxton Bush was there and won his race down there.
Oh, Braxton, you know who that is, right? It's the son of Kyle Bush.
Yeah.
So congratulations down there. I mean, that's worth. Is he still there, or is he?
I'm not sure when it was. If it must have been this weekend. That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right in mine and Eddie's backyard down there.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know exactly when they raced.
Back in your stomping grounds. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Someone did ask me this week about Modoc Speedway. They wanted to see if we could do some coverage about Modoc, some dirt track, you know, down the lower part of South Carolina.
Yeah, I didn't know that they was racing. I thought they'd been closed for a while.
Eddie, do you have any?
I mean, the only thing I've ever heard with Modoc is Wally Fowler loves Modoc and he goes down there. But I mean, it's like once or twice a year. You know, I don't think they race very consistently. I think they do a couple big shows. I think they do a big front wheel drive race, but I don't know much about Modoc.
It's been years since I've been in there and racing. What's Wally doing there? Ain't no peaches down there.
Oh, Wally, he's still out there, you know, out there doing his peaches and doing his thing, winning races and still making people mad.
Yeah, that's one maybe we need to get on the show here for long. That'd be a good one.
We will definitely.
He's a man of few words, though.
Oh yeah, well,
he's a steel trap. He was on Guthrie's show and said very, very little bit.
Yeah, I can bring up some old stuff back in the day and get him.
Well, we'll definitely get him on here, but you hear the music, guys. That means it's time for us to check on out of here. Don't forget the official after party. It's over at El Taco in Anderson. Come by there and have a taco, and you can talk with the track chat guys. Talk a little bit of racing off the mic. But please come by and join us. El Taco, the official after party of Track Chat Live for Just Jeff. I think David's over there. I'm out.
Good night, Sylvia.